The secret brotherhood are the weavers of the bloodline. It is a process intricately linked to the stars. The birth of the Divine One, the one the Brotherhood calls the Kenosh Kenaya, can only happen during certain planetary alignments with the constellation Osiris. Just over 2,000 years ago was the last such configuration. The Brotherhood was expecting something profound. They tried frantically to read the signs and omens. There were many branches of the bloodline, even back then. One was the House of David, and it was to this branch that the signs pointed. So the Brotherhood used their influence and a bit of magic to convince the current heir, Joseph, to marry his betrothed before the date prescribed by Jewish tradition. Mary conceived. The signs for the birth were auspicious, a conjunction of two planets, Jupiter and Mercury. This created a star, a certain sign of success. But the Jewish king, Herod, heard of the birth of a Davidic heir and threatened the infant's life. The Brotherhood took the family to Egypt, and the young god was reared there, tutored in the ways of the infinite.
So Jesus was the Kenosh Kenaya?
Oh yes, he was what we had awaited. The open portal between man and the infinite. The one who could see the fabric of the universe and alter it at will.
Wow.
But he was also a Jew. Jesus insisted on studying the Torah, learning his heritage. As he read the tales, he became convinced that he was the Jewish Messiah. From the Brotherhood's point of view, it was a limited ambition. And yet, who were we to tell the Divine One what he was or was not?
What happened?
He returned to Jerusalem. A few of the Brotherhood went with him to watch over him. What we didn't realize, perhaps because we were not Jews, was that Jesus intended to fulfill the prophecies. All of them.
What about the vampires? Where do they come in?
I will try to explain. You see, the Brotherhood collected blood samples for study and testing before they selected brides. There were certain magical rites performed. There had always been rumors that some of these priests had dared imbibe the blood to steal power for themselves. Of course, such things were taboo, and when these rumors surfaced among the initiates, they were harshly scolded. But when Jesus was being reared in Egypt, there was a young initiate who envied his strange abilities. He began to whisper to his friends that to truly serve the Kenosh Kenaya, the priesthood ought also to be immortal, just like the Kenosh Kenaya himself.
Jesus was immortal?
In a sense. He could reweave the fabric of his body at will, just as he could those of others. He could have healed his own wounds, but he chose to perform the sacrifice the prophecies demanded. It wouldn't have been much of a sacrifice had he rescinded.
So what happened with the young initiate?
His name was Sinai, and one of the boys he persuaded was Ali, son of the Brotherhood's headmaster. Ali wasn't a bad boy, but he loved Jesus and liked the idea of living with him forever. Fortunately, he approached his father about it one night. When the headmaster heard of the heresy, he exploded. Sinai and his followers were expelled. Only Ali remained, having repented his ignorance. But Sinai and his followers didn't give up. Sinai grew bitter. He decided they would steal the blood. He kept his eyes on the conclave, but could never get close. When Jesus left for Jerusalem, they managed to keep it secret from Sinai. He did not arrive in Israel until it was too late.
So Sinai's group, the Adepts, are still after the blood.
Even worse, they found it. Jesus had heirs, 2 sons. That was the one thing he did agree to do for the Brotherhood's sake. His sons were only human. they'd missed the window of Osiris. But they survived to have descendants.
Now the window is open again.
Yes,
Is the baby, Charlie, the Kanosh Kanaya?
we do not know. It depends on how well the vine has been woven. It depends on many things. Sadly, it may not matter. Where the Brotherhood has woven for 2,000 years, the Adepts have tasted. The bloodline grew too broad for the Brotherhood to protect each descendant every minute. And as the vampires succeeded in stealing here and there, they grew in power and in corruption. They will resort to anything for the blood. Blackmail, murder, even black magic.
They've been mixing the blood as you have, but in their own bodies.
Exactly. And they've been doing it for so many generations that they have changed, physically. It is a result of the blood, but even more, the result of corruption. You see, the power they have is stolen. It is not theirs. Even so, they are strong. The Brotherhood does not taste of the forbidden fruit. They're no match for the Adepts anymore. And the baby's blood may be enough to tip them over the threshold, even if he's not all we think he might be.
So, what will happen if they take his blood?
Montreux will be king of the world. Rex Mundi incarnate.
God. It's Gabriel. Thank heaven.
Thank heaven indeed. We have quite nearly run out of time. May we meet in your room, Ms. Nakamura?